to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to Ringside Renaissance. We're here with the RRW Weekly Review, and I'm here with Pretty Deadly Jesse, and I'm Andrew Combat Jones. Yeah. And we just want to shout out to everybody that's been riding along. We appreciate the support and everybody watching. And if you are watching right now, it does help if you please hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that shit, man. Yeah.
Elbow drop if you have
to. Yeah, right off the top rope. Yeah. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. We do appreciate everybody and all the kind words and comments and feedback we've been getting, and it does help with us, and we just hope to have your continued support through all this. Well, listen to a couple of dumbass wrestling fans having fun with pro wrestling. It's a good time.
Yeah, having a lot of good times doing this, and with the IWC on X, Twitter. Yeah.
Y'all are wild, man.
Yeah.
IWC is a wild place. I mean, there's a lot of good people, but man, oh man, it's something else. You know, we're just trying to stay in our own pocket and do our own thing. And as we've said before, we appreciate you all and what you're all trying to do with what you're trying to do it with. But
yeah, since we started doing like this show, I hadn't been on X or Twitter in like years, right? And I had heard people speaking on like how it was, and like wrestlers talking about like, I haven't been on Twitter since this long because it's fucking crazy. And we got, I got back on when we got the page back on for my personal account too, and it's just, yeah, it's wild to see what's going on and all there, and like people are very passionate on all sides and intense, and like it's nuts. It's changed from what it was a long time ago for sure.
Yeah. Social media in general, man, like everybody's strong opinioned, and just gotta say, like, if your opinion's different from ours or anybody else's, like, that's okay too. Like, we all don't have to think and feel the same way, but man, oh man, it's like just take care of each other and stay out of each other's DMs if you can't be kind to each other. That's all we're gonna say about that.
Yeah, definitely. And so this is the RRW Weekly Review for WWE, and we got a lot of stuff going on. First, though, I want to speak on something I watched recently, which was the new documentary series on Vice, which is called Who Killed WCW?
Yes.
And the first 2 episodes are out now, and it's very well done. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And so check it out.
When you, again, with something like that, you get a lot of people's opinions and their point of view of things and whose point of view is right or wrong. But it does give you a lot of insight as to what was happening behind the scenes. And that was a strange time in pro wrestling, man. But, a lot of people say that was the best time of pro wrestling. So
yeah,
just got to remember as fans, as we watch as fans, like there's humans behind the characters too. So there's a lot of crazy shit that happens behind the scenes, and we like to get mad when something doesn't happen on screen, but we got to remember there's a lot of stuff happening off screen that's dictating that as well.
Yeah, you never know what's going on people's real lives and personal lives outside the camera, like you said. But yeah, I thought it's doing a good job to like show everybody's like point of view on it, like, and to be able to have like a rebuttal. It's not just like one side.
Right.
So it's very interesting. And then there's just a lot of like big people in it too, like The Rock's in it, and like a lot of people you wouldn't normally expect to see that you didn't see even in like the Dark Side of the Ring episodes.
Yeah.
So it's very well done so far. Yeah.
Yeah, they had Medusa on there, who was Alundra Blaze, and her perspective on her whole situation of dropping the WWF women's title in the garbage, and it was a wild time, man. They pushed the envelope, and we got to remember, like, when a lot of these companies take shots at other companies, people want to get all up in arms and defensive, and again, social media has kind of like not ruined, but changed the fanhood of pro wrestling. But that was a weekly thing during the Monday Night Wars, and not to compare it because I don't think we're in a comparable time right now, but
Right.
There was, I mean, look, when X-Pac first came out, like the first thing he said when he came back to WWF was, Hulk Hogan, you suck, pal, you know, like just calling other wrestlers out straight up on TV. And when they invaded WCW and DX invaded WCW, like he was like, I'm saying what's up to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and like this is right on WWF TV. So like these little subtle shots that everybody's getting so up in arms about, like, was commonplace back then, you know.
Yeah, and they were
So
talking about how WCW would go on like 2 minutes earlier, and like the same episode the Finger Poke of Doom happened on. They also tried to say that Mankind was going to win the title from The Rock,
Yep.
and like
Mhm.
spoil it, but it made everybody actually go over to the WWE WWF at that time and watch it. So
and
it
that
kind of
was
backfired. Yeah,
right, and that was the end of the 83 weeks that Eric Bischoff talks about.
yeah,
Because W was beating WWF 83 weeks straight in the ratings. And that time when Tony Schiavone came out and told Mick Foley winning the title, everybody flipped over to WWF, and it actually ruined their rating streak too.
yeah.
So
And you were more like you watched WCW Nitro a lot more back then, right? Were you more riding with Nitro kind of?
no. I was always
No?
WWF
Okay.
guy. I
Yeah.
would watch WCW. I was aware of it, and
Yeah.
I had a few different people that I knew that followed WCW more. So I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
I was privileged to like watch WCW pay-per-views, but like in our house, it was like if we're getting a pay-per-view, it's a WWF pay-per-view, you know. So,
Yeah. I always watch like Raw over Nitro for the
Yeah.
most part. Once in a while, it'd switch back the channel, but just the way like our cable was back then, and then like different times, like our VCR, I think the one I had would only record one channel, so I couldn't like record both. So I always rode with WWE at that point and watch like the highlights back if I could. So
yeah, it's, again, the wrestling community being spoiled these days with DVR and internet, and you could just watch highlights and everything else. It was just a different time, but yeah, I always rode with WWF. I always, you know, I didn't realize as a child growing up like how like bad times had gotten and like how close they were to closing and shit like that. You know, that was
Yeah.
never I didn't worry about shit like that. That wasn't my focus. My focus was on what was on TV. You know.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't realize it at all. I thought they were always doing great. Like I didn't even know about the ratings back then, or who was beating who, or you know. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. So we were kind of a little too young for that. I guess some people paid attention, but
Yeah.
So you want to get into it? Want to get into SmackDown or?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I just want to show off the new merch. You know, shout out to WWEshop.com. I know you love this shirt, Jesse, because we're on our revenge tour. It also came with another little something in the mail.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'll get to that later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Little teaser for later.
Yeah.
I'm excited about when in 2 months Liv Morgan becomes irrelevant again, and you still have to wear that shirt around when she's not on TV anymore.
She's always gonna be relevant. Yeah, to me. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Especially with that hotel room key. I mean,
Yeah.
memories last a lifetime. So
Yeah.
Start off with SmackDown last week. It was June 7th, I believe. It started out, it opened up, the Bloodline came out, the Bloodline as it were.
Yeah.
And they came out for Koa to officially initiate Tongaloa into the Bloodline. And it's also, I believe, where he said that until Roman Reigns comes back, he's the head of the table. When he said that was interesting to me because I always had this thought in the storyline that someone was pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Okay.
But now Solo Sikoa's that he is the head of the table. So that was kind of an interesting little comment from him when he said it, you know.
Yeah, there's doubts in my head that he's kind of like bullshitting everybody. He's kind of said that he's talked to Roman, right? And Roman's told him that he is or he can do this, and it's kind of in the back of my mind sometimes that it's going to come out that when Roman comes back that he's like, I never told him any of this. He's just kind of going off on his own thing and he's lying.
Yeah, but you know, I was kind of thinking from the way they left off with The Rock and everything that The Rock was going to be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes of everything, you know.
Okay.
So him coming out and saying he was head of the table was a little bit interesting to me. Maybe there might be a change of plans. Maybe that was never the plan, but It's very interesting. We're kind of we're gonna roll this out kind of to SummerSlam, which might make it drag out a little too long, But I was just
Yeah.
thinking, like, when they have the payoff of this, obviously Roman Reigns is gonna come back and challenge this new bloodline, and
Mhm.
however they go about it and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, what's gonna happen to all these guys once the bloodline storyline's done? Like, now you have all these different guys that kind of have to branch out and do different storylines and different,
Yeah,
not all of them are going to stay relevant.
that's what kind of crossed my mind this week, and has been a little bit same thing, because they've came straight in with kind of like no story. We don't know much about them, right? Other than what they said, or other than what they're here to do.
Mhm.
So are they going to be like long term? Are they going to branch off, or is this just short term like employment and story for some of
Yeah.
these guys, right? We
Yeah.
don't
And then
know. Yeah.
I was kind of looking at it like this Herculeo guy
Mhm.
is set to debut. Is that one of the Tongas? Is it a relative of the Tongas, I believe? I'm
Okay.
not.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about what Jacob Fatu also.
Yeah, yeah. So
Right.
this Herculeo guy is supposedly like rumored to start, and I don't really know if he has where his family ties are. I'm sorry, I don't have the family tree up for everybody listening, but maybe you can let us know in the let us know in the comments Herculeo's involvement with this. But
Yeah.
so if he gets introduced into this new bloodline, then that would open up Jacob Fatu to come back with Roman, because they could say, "Oh, we're real bloodline. We're like, you know, you guys are all just fakes and just saying you're a part of the bloodline. We're a real bloodline," which makes it a little odd with Solo being a part of it. But
Yeah.
I'm interested. It's still keeping me intrigued. It's still kind of keeping me engaged in the storyline, even though it has dragged out for 2 years now. So
Yeah.
after that, Kevin Owens interrupted and basically doing his modern day Stone Cold Steve Austin impression, like not caring if he's outnumbered or outmatched. He just wants to go in and kick someone's ass, and
Yeah.
um, went into the ring, got beat up a little bit, and then here come the Street Profits to make the save, and continuing this storyline, having the Street Profits involved with it, and
Yeah.
which led
Coming out of
to
nowhere again.
it led to like a 6-man tag that was going to happen later in the night.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and Paul Heyman's doing a good job still of being
yeah,
scared and kind of not knowing what to do, and the predicament he's in, and having to thank them for saving him and stuff, right? And all up to this point. Yeah. So
yeah, he's selling it. Like
yeah.
just the little subtle words he says and talks about is like you had mentioned before when he said like these people are crazy, like they don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing. Like when Roman did things, it was to protect the title. These guys they just want to see the world burn. Like
Yeah.
little subtle things like that might go over somebody's head, but they sink in and kind of add
Yeah.
to the character.
He's like a hostage now in the
Yeah.
bloodline at this point. Like he's part of it, but he's separate from it, and the crowd is with him now.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not against Paul now. So Paul, if next time if you're on camera, blink twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know you're in danger.
Yeah.
Imagine the pop they're gonna get when Solo finally decides to like attack the wise man and Roman comes out for the save.
Ooh.
Like
Yeah. When Roman comes back, because the crowd has been, we want Roman all for weeks now, right? So it's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Big things. Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen where Solo finally gets sick of Paul Heyman and goes to attack him, and then you just hear Roman Reigns' music start or something, and it's just going to be electric. That's going to be. I wish I could be in the crowd for like that moment just to feel the energy when he comes back.
And Solo's done good. He's done better than I thought he was gonna do for not having much, mic time in the past with Roman and everybody, and just kind of being that silent enforcer. So props to him. Yeah.
And like the whole thing of like, oh, we don't accept defeat in the bloodline, and they lose later in the night, and whatever. So I could get into all that, but like I said, set up a 6-man tag later in the night. We had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Ain't too much going on here. They're just establishing their dominance as tag team champions, and
yeah, That it was.
Jade continues to impress me.
Yeah, she's getting better for sure. They look great together, as they have, even better. Did that finisher again, which I don't know if it even has a name yet, but it's sick.
Yeah.
And Candice LeRae, I could give a damn about her, honestly. But Indy Hartwell, I feel like she's been doing pretty great. Like being like that heel, and then just like in the ring too. Like she's very solid, in my opinion.
I like Indy Hartwell a lot. The whole like to this of like Candice LeRae like cheating and Indy Hartwell like should I, shouldn't I, that whole thing, her facials with all of it and her facial expressions. List of viewers. Sorry, but like you know, so all of those things during it I thought were very well done, you know, and I think that she is a pretty good performer, and hopefully she breaks out from this and kind of has a little bit of a solo run because she did well in NXT. So I'm just hoping that at some point, because I'm impressed by her work, and I think she's got a lot of potential, you know.
Yeah.
So then we had Grayson Waller against Johnny Gargano, which is the second half of this feud building. Like last week we had, or the week before we had Austin Theory against Tommaso Ciampa. Now we have Grayson Waller versus Johnny Gargano. They got the win back. A little bit more dissension between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller during the match. Which is kind of interesting, something to keep your eyes on and stuff, you know. So
yeah, it's I don't know when it's gonna lead to and what they're gonna really do with that, and who's gonna, because if they're gonna end up like turning on each other or something and then having a match, like who's gonna root for who? Like who's the baby face and who's the heel?
Yeah. It's confusing because that formula is usually for a babyface tag team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, or they just gonna use it just for the dynamic of them to lose the titles, and that's it. Do they even need to do that?
Usually there's a little bit of miscommunication between a babyface tag team, and one guy's had enough and ends up turning on the other guy, and he turns heel and sets up a feud. But like you said, with like two heels, it's like, which one of those two do you really want to root for?
Yeah, and the perfect situation to do that with down the line would be Jade and Bianca, maybe, right? Because I think freaking Bianca Belair going heel might be a great thing. Like we haven't
that's
seen
how it's
it.
Gonna go.
I hope so. I hope so, because
I never thought of that.
We haven't had it from Bianca, and when Bianca's like this baby face and on her solo run, I felt like, especially like the second one, it kind of got played out. Like there's only so much she says and does, so I think a heel turn for her would add like a lot more dimension and like a whole brand new thing to her.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I really thought it would be the other way around, but it never even crossed my mind. Like, Bianca Belair going heel and like blaming Jade for losing the titles or something. Wow, that'd be very interesting. I'd be on board with that. Like, I'd be on board either way. I'd like to see a Bianca Jade feud going down the line,
and Jade could go heel too because she's, you know, we saw it in AEW, right?
Yeah,
sorta. So. She can.
I don't
do that,
know what that was in AEW, man. She would like play heel, then after the match, like take her kid out of the crowd and hold her up and dance. It was like, what are you?
And the audience was like cheering for her when she comes out too, but they have her against, you know, baby faces, and the
discussion for another day. That's for sure. And then throughout this night, you know, there was different backstage in the parking lot with Cody Rhodes waiting for AJ Styles to show up, and you mentioned it I think back leading up to Flash maybe or no I'm sorry, when you leading up to Crown Jewel where or King and Queen of the Ring, I'm sorry. But so you were saying it leading up to that you wanted to see more fire and more pizzazz out of Cody Rhodes, and we sure got it here tonight, man. He was fired up, ready to go tonight, you know.
He was waiting in the same place for like the whole show, almost like
45 minutes
at least. Like he was just waiting backstage there. Like it must have got boring, him just sitting there mad, like, calm
pacing
down.
back and forth. Yeah.
Calm down, Cody. Like, you just wait in the ring or wait in your locker room, and then
Yeah, don't go to AJ's house like LA Knight did. I'm sorry, and just wait backstage, pacing back and forth. And it was like,
yeah. When
but
he gets
showing some
here,
passion.
yeah.
When he gets here, I'm gonna take him on.
It's good to see like the passion from him, and I want to see that more out of him. But he's got to stay true for the kids too in the audience, and be a good example. But if we want that part of Cody, but also I wouldn't mind him becoming possessed by the WWE mark again.
Well, this is another thing too, is that Arn Anderson just his contract just ended in AEW, so we might see the fucking Glock
Anderson back.
We might see Glock Anderson come back and be that little.
Oh God.
Let's do it. What the fuck, oh God. Come on, man.
Glock Anderson is top 10 AEW promos of all time.
All time.
I don't even think Cody knew what to fucking do when he heard it. Like, Cody and Brandy were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nobody knew what to do. Like, is he really going to pull a fucking gun out here? And anything can happen in AEW, so.
What a soundbite. Like,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's bring Glock Anderson back and be that little fire for Cody. I'm here for it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so we had him backstage, and then Nick Aldis came and was like telling him, there's a better way. There's a better way. And, it led down the line. And while we're on the subject, we'll just go through it. Skipping around just a little bit, but just to complete it. Eventually, AJ Styles showed up out the sunroof, being ridiculous, and Aldis and some security guards that were just happened to be there were holding Cody back. So Cody decides to walk to the ring,
right,
which was 20 feet from the parking lot. And it was funny, like he walked from the parking lot through the curtain. It was like probably like a 25-foot walk, and to the ring, and AJ Styles out, and another little fiery little promo, and Styles says, "Give me what I want."
Yeah.
Give me what I want. And
give me what I want. Yeah. He comes out with the OC too.
Yeah, man. Oh, shout out to the OC. Like, they just constantly get buried. I know you don't like Luke Gallows and shit, but they're just like continuous like fucking stooges. Like, and it's like they know their role in wrestling. And Carl Anderson's so good, but he'll never. Yeah. I think he's got a loyalty to Luke Gallows that he'll never break away from him and stuff. And
no, they're solid tag team like that. Like, you can't take it from them. Like, they're veterans at this point, just like AJ. Yeah.
Right. So they come out, and like I said, he up saying like, I want a title match, and Cody says, you got a title match, but if you want a title match, I'm gonna make you say the words you should have said last week, and that's I quit. Which sets up an I quit match for Clash at the Castle, and I haven't seen an I quit match in quite a while, so it's interesting. People were reaching out to us on social media asking like what exactly an I quit match is, and that's like kind of like indicative to like how little we see them, and
like the I quit match I always think about when I hear of an I quit match is the Rock Mankind match. It always goes back to that for me.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he never said it, and it was like bullshit. Just like the voice. And so it's like these matches can some type of ways sometimes muddy the waters, I feel like.
Yeah, it could be some fuckery there.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, does anybody in the world foresee fucking Cody losing title to AJ Styles? Like, but
let alone saying I quit to him.
Right. Cody will never quit.
Yeah, even for AJ to say I quit, it's going to be quite the moment, I guess, right? Like,
what a way to put Cody over, man. Like, the unselfishness to agree to a match like that, because that's kind of and like you said, unless it's done in some way with some fuckery, like that's kind of a burial, but kind of hurts your credibility a little bit to have to say those words, I quit, and we'll see. It should be a good match. They put on a good match at Backlash, and should be another one. It sucks that it's the same opponent for two of his defenses and whatever, but like, it's it's a worthy opponent, I should say. AJ Styles' track record and his resume speaks for itself, you know.
Yeah, and they've kind of, the stakes have been risen.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So the story has been good along going with it to build up to the second match, which is always not there because sometimes it's just, I want a rematch and you got it. So at least there's been a little more to it because we got the fake retirement and this time,
Right.
we get the I Quit match. So it makes it a little fresher and it's definitely more heated. And
Yeah.
Cody's done a great job selling it, and AJ's been phenomenal doing this thing with Cody here. So I'm very much looking forward to that match, like for sure.
Yeah, me too. And they got a good lineup. I know some people are complaining about Clash at the Castle not only having a few matches, and these PLEs that happen overseas like only seem to have a few matches. But
yeah. But
like this card is pretty solid for what it is.
I think it's better than Backlash. Like,
oh, for sure,
hands
for
down.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So then we had a man, LA Knight, backstage with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
And bro, so fucking good, man. And then basically just tells him, like, let's just do it in the ring and no nonsense. And you got to be living under a fucking rock to not think that LA Knight is one of the most over wrestlers, not just in the WWE, but like in any like major company right now. Like, LA Knight is just, and there isn't anything like his work style isn't like overly ridiculous or
no, it's
not.
not.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He just does what he has to do in the ring, and it's his charisma and his personality that really just crowd is just eating it right the fuck up. Like, amazing.
And going back to almost even like maybe it was close to a year ago when he's kind of beefing with the Miz, and the Miz was kind of telling him he's just kind of like that flavor of the month, and people are going to forget you. And then he had that match with Roman, and he lost, and it's like he's going to die down a little bit, and he did like sink a little bit in like the card status, I guess, more to the mid card, but he still has kept when his music sounds, he's over. The crowd goes wild. So it doesn't even matter. And to be able to build yourself back up to this point again, like, just speaks to how great he is. And
it's crazy, like there's matches going like ebbs and flows. Like, there'll be like a lot of times the crowd's participating and cheering, but then there's times the crowd dies down and they kind of just, it's like a quiet, like watching what's happening.
Yeah.
But he just gets up on the ropes and does the LA Knight thing, and like the crowd just like it's like you're just injecting fucking adrenaline in the crowd. Like, it just doesn't miss. Like, that just doesn't miss. It's like,
good theme song too. Like his music is great. Like when the first few chords hit, like you know who it is. Like it's all good. Yeah.
My wife gets mad. I put the theme song on when I walk into the bedroom and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yeah. Rolls over and goes to sleep. It's real disappointing. So anyway, LA Knight ends up winning this match against Carmelo Hayes. Again, Carmelo Hayes hasn't really won much on the main roster, but I don't think it's really hurting him. Every match he's had has been against somebody credible.
And he's looked better and better too. Like his backstage, he looked good with LA Knight, and then when he comes out, like his entrance has gotten better. His in ring has gotten great. Like he looked very, very good.
Yeah, in this mini feud with LA Knight, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but it's this little mini feud he has with LA Knight.
Yeah.
People are going to remember this. So when LA Knight, essentially, we think he's going to win the U.S. title. Now down the line, there's already a feud kind of underneath the surface brewing, and maybe Carmelo Hayes can come back and be the one eventually to dethrone LA Knight and then get his flowers later on.
And they'll put him over.
So,
yeah.
So that's kind of interesting, kind of sowing the seeds for later down the line. And I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think they put on a great, solid match, and had some good chemistry despite their difference in styles,
Yeah, they're both looking great. And Mello, I like the way that they're building him and not kind of just shoving him down and getting squashed. And they are building him up to be something great that will down the line be like that too. Like you're saying, to win that title, hopefully, or something. And fuck yeah. Yeah.
And shout out to Carmelo Hayes. Like, a lot of people probably, because he was like a top guy in NXT. So coming to the main roster and being put in a position like this, people some people, I don't know for sure, but may or may not really take to that very well.
I think he deserves it, put in his work or something. Right. Yeah.
Right. But I think he understands kind of the pecking order of things and just, you know what, I'm being on TV and I'm staying relevant and I'm staying like in front of people so they remember who I am and I'll get my shine when it's the time's right. You know?
He looks like, he's really bought into himself too.
Yes.
For sure. Like,
yes.
Yeah. And he's not afraid to work either. You could tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? A lot of people, if they get put in that position, might mail it in the match, but he just kind of knows, like I said, stay on TV, stay relevant, put on continuous good performances, and the crowd will catch on. The crowd will pick up on what's going on, you know, and eventually he'll get a shine. So next we had Piper Niven and Bayley kind of having like an in-ring promo leading up to their match at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah.
And I haven't really heard Piper Niven on the mic very much, but I think she kind of held her own and did all right here, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. This match I'm not so sure about.
I'm trying to stay positive, man. Yeah. I was trying to find the good things, you know. I'm really disappointed with Bayley's title run, and I just think that it's not doing her any favors. This title run is not doing her any favors, and
just with the whole, you know, presentation of it too, like coming out, going back to WrestleMania with the new, like she kept the same theme music, but she changed it up also.
Yeah,
the entrance music, and it's just not quite doing it for me either. The whole presentation, it didn't make sense. And you know, everybody still loves Bayley and they're still riding with her, but Piper Niven, I don't what do they want to set up? Piper Niven versus Nia Jax?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a double-edged sword because, you know, you like women's, like it or hate it, women's wrestling doesn't really resonate with all the fans, I should say.
Yeah.
On a grand scale, they want to see all these storylines and all these feuds with the male wrestlers, like it or hate it. That's just what it is, you know.
Right.
And they had some breakout spots.
Yeah, there's been a lot of peaks and valleys with the women's division. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's kind of just, you know, valley, you know, and so it's like hard to build up a credible opponent for her, you know, and it just feel like she just kind of has a lack of credible opponents or something like that, you know. And
people are more invested in like Jade and Bianca right now than they are with Bayley's title.
Right.
You know, that's bigger. Yeah.
Right. And then like look at that, for example, like how many women's tag teams are there? So there's like, it's kind of you know, at least try to sew them into like the main storylines just a little bit, just have somebody come out and be like, you know, with somebody else maybe or something, just to keep them credible or relevant. But I'm not 100%. I'm going to be happy to see Bayley in the ring, but
Piper Niven's not bad in the ring either by any means.
No. It's just quick build, nothing really. I'm not invested in it.
She's probably better than Nia Jax in the ring, honestly.
I would not doubt that.
Yeah.
So. I would not doubt that. I mean, I think you have that. That's not a hot take. That's just a take.
Yeah.
Because
I would like to see that match too. Not necessarily for a title match, but I'd be interested to see it. Maybe on like a Raw. Nia? Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody likes their own thing, man, if that's what you're into. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I never knew. Okay.
Yeah.
So the main event of the night was the night was KO and the Street Profits against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. It was more of the same shit. I'm not. So Paul Heyman's selling this Bloodline thing as like they're complete menaces with no regard for society and just want to be fucking whatever. And then every match and showing they've been in, they get kind of worked over in the ring. Like, I want to see them be fucking menacing and like
brutal and violent, and just violent, cutthroat and everything. Yeah. Claw and scratch and bite and don't let the opponents get the upper hand at all. And you know, I want more voices and like gremlin shit and crawling and like Take it to a
Yeah,
whole
and
nother level. If you're gonna do it,
it
fucking go all the way out. Go all the way over with it. Fuck it.
right, and if Tonga Loa is getting worked over in the ring, Tonga come in and just start beating up the other guy, and like the referee trying to call him off, and like just us you're menacing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, we're menacing, but only when we're tagged in. Otherwise, we're just gonna hold this rope on the corner and not. You know, it's like
Yeah. I mean,
they're
they're
I feel
good,
like they
but
could present it.
I think in reality they're probably kind of over their prime. Like they've took them a little late, right?
Yeah, I mean they're doing well. I think they're doing well in WWE
Yeah.
for what it is, and I
Right.
think like their matches like have been pretty good, and they can still work in the ring. But like the presentation of it, I want to see more. I want to see more. You know, like when KO comes out and just starts talking and walking to the ring, like, and they're just standing there looking at him. Well, if you're so crazy, I want to watch Worldburn, go out and meet him in the aisleway and beat him up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just
I thought they
little
would have
things.
took him out by now because Solo with the old bloodline would have took him out by now. It seems like
Right. Yeah. So I'm
solved
just,
the KO problem.
but
Again.
I think a lot of this,
And again,
right,
and again, yeah,
and again,
yeah,
and again, I think a lot of this is leading up to their kind of slow burning Roman coming back, so they're just trying to keep it on TV and keep it relevant. But
yeah,
I mean, fucking what 4 weeks ago, Tonga Loa or which Tama Tonga,
yeah,
fucking smashed into Kevin Owens' car. And he was all bloody and came out to the ring, was beating him up, and now they fucking can't win a 6-way. You know, so it's like, all right. So
yeah. Now they're like abiding by the rules more.
yeah, like a few weeks ago, you smashed into his car and dragged him out to the ring and beat him up. But now, when Kevin Owens and the Street Profits come into the ring, you guys back off and walk away. Like, I don't know, consistency. I don't see
Yeah.
consistency in it. You know what I mean? Like
They had a few good spots in the match, so especially by Montez Ford. Like,
oh yeah,
but he's so athletic and like he's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angelo Dawkins too. They're both
Yeah,
really good,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's kind of like tag team that would like to see eventually win the tag titles from A-Town Down Under. I think they're
again.
more over.
Yeah,
I think they're more
yeah.
over, and I think they should take it over DIY. It doesn't look like that's how it's going, but whatever. But the match ended. Owens and Street Profits were getting the upper hand. Solo Sikoa comes in, just fucking hits with a chair. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
Gets the disqualification, beats them all up. They do the Shield power bomb on Kevin Owens through the announce table to finish the night out, and
yeah,
on to this Friday.
The IWC was pissed about that.
Yeah. How dare he?
How dare they like help a power bomb through a table like it hasn't happened before the Shield?
Right.
Like, come on. Come on, get over it.
And if you want to be like that deeply entrenched in it, that's like symbolism. Like Roman Reigns was in the Shield, and now there's new bloodlines doing that. Like it's like a symbolism thing. If
I
you
have
want
to come back. You're doing my move.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing Dean with me. So that was SmackDown.
Yeah.
Ooh, the tense music and graphic to switch to Raw. So now we're switching to Raw, and I liked Raw this week more than I liked SmackDown.
Yeah.
We started out with Drew McIntyre coming out to the ring, and almost like babyface Drew a little bit. Like, I don't know if you felt that or noticed that, but he was coming out giving high fives to people coming out to the ring.
I did notice that. I was like, oh shit, he's slapping people's hands and stuff like that. Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like, they're kind of building up babyface Drew for being in Scotland, but they're not in Scotland, so
Right.
It was interesting. It was really kind of interesting to me, like the way he was going about that. And
he started talking, and he didn't get very far into what he wanted to say either. And then cued Damian Priest music.
Yeah, he brought up Damian Priest
DP.
and Damian Priest.
Yeah.
The DP. All he had to do was talk about DP, and we get it.
Yeah. Like, can we just get him to say Bondage Undertaker?
Yeah. I mean, Bondage Undertaker and DP go hand in hand. But so he says Damian Priest's name, Damian Priest music. comes on, he starts coming out to the ring, and Pat McAfee with the line of the night on commentary says, "Say his name and he appears." And I said, boy, if they're teasing Joe Hendry to come into NXT, like fucking Pat really just kind of sowed the seeds for that.
Yeah,
So,
I think they need that too because might as well capitalize it while it's there.
with the TNA crossover, yeah.
Yeah, fuck
And,
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I just thought it was funny. Pat just said, I don't even know if he knew what he was saying, but like,
Yeah.
Pat's a wrestling fan.
He knows.
He's a commentator,
Yeah.
but he's a wrestling fan. He knows what he's doing.
He knows. Yeah.
But, you know, Priest and Drew have a strong performance on the mic in the ring against each other again. Drew just says you can't win without the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Priest kind of rebuttals with that. And, you know, basically back and forth led to Priest said that if Drew can beat Finn Balor tonight on Raw, that this Saturday, Clash of the Castle, then the Judgment Day will be barred from ringside.
No Judgment Day.
No Judgment. His mascara started running, and he had to walk away. So we're gonna get that set up: Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor for the main event of Raw. Which, and Finn, you know me, I'm a big Finn Balor guy.
Yeah, and the look on his face when Damian Priest kind of signed him up for that match, kind of sold it all because he didn't look too happy or too thrilled about it either.
Yep. More planting the seeds for down the line.
Yeah.
You know, so it's done really well. And I thought that, you know, Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor are just two amazing competitors in the ring. And we'll touch more on that when it happens. And while Judgment Day was out at the ring, we did have the absence of Dom, who afterwards we saw backstage.
Comes into their Judgment Day
in the clubhouse. And he's in the clubhouse. And the little love from
and Liv. She's spread eagle, spread out, you know, looking real inviting to Dom, looking to seduce him.
Showing her Morgan, and
she pulls out the hotel key.
How did you get that?
Came with the shirt. Special order.
Who's gonna come with the shirt? That's the question.
Maybe.
I'm so sorry.
Promo code www.shop.com Combat Jones for an extra $2,000.
They had a little backstage and stuff, and again, you know, like this kind of stuff. Jesus, this stuff's kind of okay, listen, I understand trying to be invested in the storylines and stuff, but like you're telling me like there's no interaction between these two unless there's a camera in their face, like. Yeah, and reality sets in if everybody in the IWC is invested in pro wrestling as they say they are.
Yeah,
you all know Dom is fucking married and like happily married, and like, you know, like
no, he's not.
Like,
he's gonna leave his wife for Liv.
He's gonna leave mommy for Liv.
He's gonna leave both of them for Liv.
I hate to have a fucking reality check for all of y'all.
Yeah,
but ain't with either one of them. It's with his fucking wife. So
yeah, and she said, you know, I don't think a gorgeous man like you should be with a woman who makes him call her mommy. A man like you should be with a girl who isn't afraid to call him daddy.
Bro, this whole thing,
she's got some riz, man. Liv don't fuck around. Liv don't fuck around. Leaving the hotel. Woo, baby. Let's
totally
go.
Bought in on being a hoe, bro.
Yeah. Like, she's the champion. Yeah. She can do whatever she wants. Yeah.
If you're good at something, I guess just do it. You know, continue to do it. And she's a real good hoe, you know.
Yeah. So. Yep. She got that frizz. Yeah. So he doesn't take the hotel key.
No, he just leaves it on the table.
He leaves it on the table. He doesn't take it. And they meet. You want to go back and they meet him stage, right? Yeah. So they meet him backstage. The Judgment Day shows up backstage to the clubhouse. Their meeting is back from adjournment from the ring. And Carlito's kind of giving Dom props, which is funny. Like, he don't have a problem with it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, no, it's not.
So that's good. He's adding some more comedy to it. That's good. Yeah. They ain't got R-Truth, which would have been funny in that position too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But and Damian's like, "What the fuck, man? Like, what the hell are you doing? And
What
I
are you
don't know,
doing?
and I know you don't feed into the gossip and all that stuff, but I do, as we said, I'm all into the rumor mills and the gossip. So I don't know if you saw the picture online, but who took the card? Did you see who took the card?
Yes.
Okay, you
Yes.
did
Yes.
see. Okay, yeah.
Later on. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, you've seen it. So there's a lot of talk,
Yeah.
but looks like Finn Balor swiped that card. And
To combat Jones.
yeah, we're tight apparently. Yeah,
She's not.
wow, not anymore.
No. It's still funny. I was gonna let you do that. Fuck.
Oh, just joking. Yeah.
All right. No, we're not. So anyway, so they decide, and again, I think Dom's innocent in this whole thing. I think there's some smoke and mirrors here, and I think it's just gonna go down the line to a monster babyface push from Dom after all this, which is
Yeah.
I'm fucking here for it, man. Imagine just look at this scenario. Dom, every time he tries to talk on the mic now, he just gets booed and can't talk.
Yeah.
Imagine if he becomes a babyface and like every time he goes to talk, everybody cheers so loud he can't talk.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a funny
Like, you
switch.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the crowd would like engage in that because USA crowds kind of suck these days, but
Yeah.
And it's like going back to like when Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre were in the ring after everything Damian Priest was saying, the crowd was just going, "What? What?"
Yeah, I don't like the
bro,
what chant for the most part. Yeah.
It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit, bro. It's like that was for a certain time and
it's just disrespectful. Let the people talk too, like
right. And it's like come up with something different.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Finn Balor, that was later on, just to wrap that up. Finn Balor got the key in his back pocket and
yeah, so I think could he be, planning with Liv the downfall of Damian Priest to take over the Judgment Day? Is he in on it then?
might be because they said back before Liv was in the Judgment Day he would side with Liv Morgan. But I think like him taking the key like that it was a little too obvious.
Yeah.
Like if they like panned up on their faces and went back down to the table and the key was gone and it was like, oh, who took the key? Okay. But like for it to be right on camera, him taking it, I mean,
yeah.
No, time will tell.
No
Time
shame.
will tell.
No shame.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you, Finn. Yeah.
I'm liking him less. That's all I gotta say.
I like him more. Yeah.
Ring, we had Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria having a rematch from the Queen of the Ring qualifier, and Io Sky had to get her back for this one.
I thought it was a great match, actually. I thought it was a really good match.
It was a little bit sloppy in some parts, but overall, and like there might be, I'm not sure, it might be a little bit of a language barrier, maybe like to communicate in the ring sometimes, with like some foreign wrestlers and stuff. But like I think they both held their own. Lyra continues to impress me.
Yeah.
I think she's very good in the ring. I think she has a whole lot of potential.
Oh yeah. And she's smooth too. That's what really stood out to me, even that gap with them. But I thought this match was better than their previous match. Also,
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So and had some fuckery from Damage Control on the outside of the ring, which didn't make sense to me. But
yeah.
Like I could see like putting someone's foot on the rope. So Lyra Valkyria was trying to pin Io Sky, and Dakota Kai came up and just like slammed her head down or something. Like, and it's like I could see you putting the foot up on the rope and the ref not noticing it, but
it was kind of muddy there. Yeah. And I like Dakota Kai too. Like I think she's great. Like the personality and stuff. It's all there. It's good. She's good. Whatever her name. What's the other one?
Dakota Kai. Kairi Sane
was there. Yeah, she didn't really do much. Yeah, she was just kind of there. Yeah.
And shout out to Asuka, had knee surgery too. She's going to be out for a while.
Okay,
that kind of sucks. But
that sucks.
Obviously, if she never hears this or whatever, but we really hope Asuka's one of, if not my favorite female wrestler of the past 20 years. So it sucks to see her not there. Just her character, her facial expressions, her in-ring work. I'm just a huge fan of Asuka and think I'm a big fan of everything she does.
Yeah,
so
you're not alone.
Sucks.
You're not alone. She's everything she does. Yep.
It's shitty, but like it's it's the damage control is definitely missing something without her there. So
Yeah.
so Io Sky defeated Lyra Valkyria, got her win back and stuff, and continues her going unhinged and kind of going a little bit crazy and sort of that's an interesting little keep an eye on moving forward. I don't know where they're going with it.
Yeah,
but
she kind of like lashes out like a child almost too. Like losing her temper everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Fuck it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Braun Strowman defeated the Judgment Day. Dom, JD, and Carlito. I don't have too much for this.
No.
Rey Mysterio is always good. Dragon Lee is always good.
Yeah.
It was good to see Dom back in the ring because I really thought he had a legitimate injury that was going to keep him out for quite a while. So to see him back in and working was good.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of Braun Strowman. I understand he's big and menacing, but
Right.
if he's that big and strong and powerful and menacing, why isn't he in the main event picture? Why is he just doing little undercard matches? It's kind of
it's kind of the same thing every time.
yeah. But the finish was cool, like tagging in Dragon Lee and then putting Dragon Lee up on his shoulders for the splash for the 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
on JD, I believe it was.
Yep.
And Dragon Lee getting the pin is cool because I like Dragon Lee and it was cool to see him be the one getting the pin,
Yeah, to put him over them, and of course JD's gonna always take the pin.
Yeah, and I'm kind of confused where this whole LWO thing's going. I don't think it's really going anywhere. I think it's just something just to keep them on TV and whatever. But
Kind of
having
filler
Braun
matches.
Strowman with them and stuff is kind of
because he was backstage with them too. And
yeah. I'm just kind of confused about it. And it's not a good thing or bad thing. I'm just kind of confusing to me, I guess.
apparently he's from Puerto Rico or whatever.
See,
No, he's
but
not.
no, okay,
No.
no.
Maybe he
Okay.
did a
So,
23andMe. I don't know.
I'm not touching that one. We're in 2024. I'm not touching that one. So then we had like Sami Zayn backstage with the Alpha Academy, kind of doing more of this rah shit.
Yeah.
Which led to a match between Sami Zayn and Otis and more of the same shit, back and forth. Chad Gable distracts Otis. Sami Zayn got the haluva kick on him. 1, 2, 3. More like miscommunication. It looked like Otis was going to splash Chad Gable after the match.
Yeah.
He moved. He splashed Sami Zayn. It's like
Yeah, I
okay.
seen it coming. Yeah, you could see they were setting it up.
It was almost like we're watching the same segment from last week on Raw. Like this every week this is the same thing.
Yeah, it's not much different, leading up to the match backstage. They had their little talk. They're not good enough. You need to do this. You need to do that. He keeps kind of, shit. My bad.
Preaching?
No. Well,
Oh,
Chad
shit.
Gable keeps preaching to Otis and Maxine and to Zawa that they need to do the right thing and do what he says, and it's just not happening. It's just not doing it for me at this point. They need to move on with it, which is obviously what's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm just not.
Yeah.
This isn't for me. I don't think this does Sami Zayn justice. And like I've mentioned before, he dethroned Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
And they're having such a historic title reign, and then this is the feud they put him in.
Yeah.
Like it kind of takes away from the credibility of Gunther for me because it's like Sami Zayn defeated him and then like what he's reduced to. So I'm kind of, I don't know.
And even weeks ago, and we didn't hear from Gunther at all.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But going back a few weeks ago, like when Gunther had a match or Sammy had a match, whatever it was, they kind of alluded to that Sammy at WrestleMania over Gunther was kind of like a lucky win. Like he didn't deserve it, so they're not doing it justice.
No. And like I said, like you just said, like Gunther again, like on Raw. It's kind of interesting, but we had Ludwig Kaiser
ladies and gentlemen,
declare himself for the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
But, we had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark defeated Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yeah.
which they're both Scottish. I didn't know that. I had no clue. And quick.
What are they? Are they witches or something? Or they were, and they're not anymore because they're like holding some type of thing, like their
Yeah, I'm not
gimmick.
exactly sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I think
I'm not
they're kind of
exactly
in a
sure.
transition right now of their characters or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I have no clue. I'm not too
Yeah.
vested on them, but like a quick T's and P's, T's and P's to Alba Fire though. Something about I think her mom got hit by a car or something and died.
Oh,
I read that online that like her mom and dad were crossing the street and got hit by a car or something like that. And they said her mom had died. So,
that just happened? Or
if that's true, it happened a few days ago, but I guess
Oh.
her mom died like a day or two ago. If that's true, I mean, maybe I just read I'm pretty sure it's true report, but
Oh, wow.
if that
Yeah.
is true, like T's and P's to the family and stuff.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. So Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah.
Thought it was a good match. Again, I think Braun Breaker they're giving the opponents of Braun Breaker too much, I think.
Yeah, especially for this one. They didn't want to make Ela look too weak in this too. So Braun did look like shaken at some points. Not too much. Like he kind of pulled himself together after he was hurt a few times and seemed more dominant, I guess. But I see what you're saying though. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had a little quick tease before the match with Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov saying like they're going to face each other again soon. So that kind of put some seeds of doubt whether Ricochet's leaving or staying, whatever. And well, that time will tell with that one. And he's leaving. And it was a good match for what it was. I just think if they're building Braun Breaker's character and image the way that I feel like they're trying to, like, I don't think they should give Ilya as much or any opponent of Braun's as much in the ring as they have been. So
right, because he's had squash match, and then this match kind of is a little more even, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
But
and
it is
Ilya
a bigger
Dragunov,
opponent,
Right, and they had a storied rivalry in NXT too, so that kind of is a carried over storyline and stuff. But there was one point in the match, Braun Breaker was laying down on the ring, and Ilya gave him like a forearm to the face.
Oh yeah, the H-bomb, I think
H-bomb or something shit like that.
Yeah. It was,
My God, bro! I thought he fucking potatoed him, bro. And I said, "Oh man!"
Right, and he does that off the top rope usually, I believe, too, right?
I believe so. But it doesn't look as
that was a good camera angle.
That one.
Yeah, that was good, very good.
It was good.
It stood out absolutely.
Yeah. So and Braun Breaker ends up getting the win after a couple spears, one around the ring, then gets him back in the ring, spears him again, comes out, starts being menacing on Ilya. Ricochet comes out for the save and looks strong against Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
kind of knocks him over the rail again, like Ilya did last week, and kind of defends Ilya Dragunov and stuff, which leads to later on a backstage of Ilya Dragunov getting attacked by Braun Breaker and Ricochet coming in for the save.
Tries to save. Yeah.
Someone save Ricochet because Breaker picks up Ricochet. And I don't know if did you see the impact from this?
Yeah.
He hits him off the
truck. The trailer of the the truck.
But when he landed on his back, and he's like, you could tell it knocked the wind out of him.
When he hit the trailer too, he either did a great job of selling it or he fucking hit that thing because
it looked rough. And then he was gasping for air.
Hell of a
and then
bump.
They put him. Yeah. And then Braun Breaker smashed him through a windshield.
And so that's why I got to ask you, is this real glass? Is this some type of foreshadowing? Is this some type of them talking shit? Is this like a shot? Like, what do you think?
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's interesting. I don't know.
First thing I'm thinking Jack Perry, and I'm thinking real glass, cry me a river. So do you think that was real glass? Do you think that was a real windshield?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think about that. That didn't cross my mind when I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Was that real glass?
Was that real grass? Was it real grass?
Or is it oregano?
And if you want to
Yeah.
cry us a river in the comments, you can do that too. So,
And is it some type
yeah.
of foreshadowing for Ricochet going to AEW?
You breaking the fucking news with your hot takes,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So then Samantha Irvin went and got into the fence with him, and those EMTs didn't look like they were in much of a hurry to get him out of there.
She was crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
She tried. I'll give it to her. She put the act on,
Yeah, she tries a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah.
I tried playing football, didn't mean I was good at it. So some truth came out, defeated Authors of Pain, don't really care. I've lost interest in Awesome Truth.
Yeah, they got a lucky pin, got a lucky win on them. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of
Well,
funny.
R-Truth hit him with the title.
With the belt. Yeah. And like that whole spot was kind of funny, but
yeah.
the tag divisions in general just are kind of lacking for me. But
yeah, the women's is more relevant at this point.
Yeah. Which ones? I mean, there isn't really relevance in the tag division at all recently,
Yeah.
So, and then we got to our main event: Drew McIntyre against Finn Balor. And if Finn Balor lost, the Judgment Day would be banned from ringside for Clash at the Castle. And Finn Balor lost, and the Judgment Day is banned from ringside at Clash at the Castle. I don't think anybody thought anything different.
Yeah, no.
It was kind of crazy towards the end. I mean, it was a good match overall. Finn Balor is great. Drew McIntyre is great.
Right.
The Judgment Day came out and tried to help, and even Damian Priest came out and tried to help, which he hadn't been doing that the last few weeks. He's kind of been judging the Judgment Day
for helping and not wanting help
and interfering.
Yeah.
Right. And he came out and tried to interfere, so almost playing as the heel.
Right.
Like I mentioned earlier, Drew McIntyre playing babyface. Now Damian Priest kind of acting heelish,
and him not trusting Finn, knowing he's got to go out and help. So that's going to put more dissension in the group, being like, you don't think I can win? I don't think you can win. Like
Finn won later in the hotel.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So that sets up that was Raw, and that sets up Clash at the Castle. It'll be Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship, with the Judgment Day banned from ringside.
Banned. Yeah.
Cue the cool graphic and music. All right, so now we're at Clash of the Castle coming up this weekend, and we have 5 incredible matches for you to break down, and we're going to kind of give our predictions, I guess, before we get off. And
we'll have SmackDown leading into it, which is the night before, which is also in Glasgow, Scotland. So that should be interesting. I don't expect anything too crazy to happen other than the crowd going bananas. I think we're going to get a huge crowd again for this overseas show, as we've been getting. Yeah. Like,
because I know as of like a couple days ago, a bunch of the seats for SmackDown hadn't sold.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll give them out if not, but
I think the price of them was stupid. Like, people were complaining how expensive the tickets were.
Oh, no
like,
kidding.
A lot of them didn't sell.
No kidding. Yeah. Well,
I'm sure they'll get there.
Yeah. Well, Clash at the Castle last year was wild. The pay-per-view was the crowd was wild, especially for Drew, obviously. So I just figured, like, as of lately, how it's been with the crowds, international crowds, and in general, with the shows leading up to it and the live events, that they've been very great. So.
Yeah, and it's almost like competition. Like, the crowds want to outdo each other a little bit, So I think that kind of adds to it as well. Like, which is really interesting, So, but yeah, we have the SmackDown taking place. It'll be a different time for us because of the time difference and whatever. It'll still air at the same time over here, but it's kind of pre-taped, which is, I try to stay off the internet because I don't like spoilers and stuff. But what can you do?
Yeah.
And Clash at the Castle, we have first up on our list is the Women's Championship, Bayley versus Piper Niven. As I said earlier, I'm not really fully invested in this. Like, I like Bayley. I think Piper Niven's got potential and whatever. I just think the build's not that great. For the sake of not wanting Bayley's title reign to end, I'm going to say Bayley is going to win this match.
Yeah, I agree. Bayley, hopefully. Yeah.
And If not, we're gonna get Nia. I think it's too early because if Nia Jax gets her title shot at SummerSlam, so
Oh, you think there might
if
be
they
some
put
interference?
maybe, but like Naomi's there to back Bailey up, so
Chelsea Green gonna be there, I'm sure, too, somehow,
yeah,
right? So
yeah, and then Naomi's probably gonna be there to help Bailey or something because they've kind of had their
yeah.
friendship, and whatever. So I think Bailey's gonna win this match. Like I said, I don't think if they wanted to set up Piper Niven, Nia Jax for SummerSlam, we're still a couple months away, and they pulled the trigger too early at that point. So
Yeah, that's true.
so Bailey retains. We're in agreement on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Next we have the women's tag team championship triple threat match. A lot of triple threat matches under Triple H. But Belair and Jade Cargill defend their titles against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Yeah,
Isla Dawn.
the witches.
So, from Scotland.
Yeah.
And champions are going to win. Champions going to retain.
I would assume so. I would think so, and I would hope so. Like you said, they're from there.
Yeah.
So, do they have a chance? Maybe, I don't know. They'll probably have a good showing. Yeah.
And you got to take into account too what I had mentioned about Alba Fire's mother and stuff. So cards subject to change. You know what I mean? And if it turns out they had to change the
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Change the card because of that or something, I don't think anybody's going to.
Right.
Yeah,
that's very
I don't
understandable.
think anybody's gonna.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to be mad at that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
as I'm talking, I just had to fact check it on, make sure I was not mistaken by this. But yeah, that did happen. So thoughts and prayers out to her family. But I really think Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to win this. I don't think their title reign's done yet. They're just planting the seeds for a future rivalry that I think isn't going to take place as of yet.
Yeah, and doing something a little different with them, putting them in a triple threat tag match now. Because they looked very dominant to both tag teams. They kind of had got the better of them, and then they, on the last few episodes of Raw SmackDown or what it was, and they come in and then they take out both of their tag teams. So it shouldn't be a problem for them. It's a way to kind of make it a little more believable, I guess, having two other tag teams with them, right?
Right.
So yeah, more dimension.
It's interesting. We'll see.
Maybe.
Right, and we'll see how it goes. And it's two completely different style tag teams too, because Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are like the Bruisers, and other two are kind of I don't want to butcher their names again, but they're
actually decent in the ring too. They're not a bad tag team. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Going back to NXT and the few little matches that they've had once they came over, but I will say that to go off just for a second, Shayna Baszler, her booking lately has been fucking stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. Very dumb.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. They've been needing to do something different with Shayna Baszler for about 5 years now, and they haven't.
You're gonna lose a match at Battleground, and then you're gonna win a match on Raw, and then I just don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever. I guess it happens we have two different bookers, but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Next up, we have the IC Championship match. We have Zayn, the champion, defending his title against Chad Gable. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Chad Gable's winning. Going to be new Intercontinental Champion.
Okay. That's a bold, big prediction.
Got to give the last couple premium live events from overseas have had kind of a title change or kind of a thing like that to kind of give them, and I think this is where they're going to give it to him.
Now, how does that play in with Otis? Because do you have Otis turning on Chad Gable?
Later. And then it's going to set up Chad Gable against Otis for the IC title.
Okay. Well, just for sake of, going something different, I'll say Sammy. But I like your idea. This whole lead up, though, with Chad Gable does make sense to have him win, maybe, actually.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a little more unpredictable, because if Sammy wins again, you already beat Chad Gable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
right,
yeah.
Just how over Otis is right now, and I think as much as I don't want Sammy's title reign to not mean anything or whatever.
He doesn't need it as much. Yeah.
Right. And I think like the way they're building Otis up right now, like I think he would be satisfied to know that like he was helping in building like a Otis babyface build into like a I mean he's already a babyface, but like popularity build into him having a title run, which
and the title will mean more for that too.
Right.
I guess if you think about it, right? For it, like if Sammy was to retain and keep the title, then it splits up Chad and Otis afterwards. Then they just have that rivalry. If you add the title to the rivalry and that turning on him, then it makes it more important, right? And it makes it more relevant for people to watch and raises the stakes more. So that makes sense. That's cool. Yeah. Then you have the rest of the group too. Where do they kind of stand in and with who, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and that big moment, you know, if Otis ever gets the title or whatever, and then they have like in the ring with them celebrating and stuff, it would just be I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. That's cool.
To be the booker. So
bucket trips.
So yes, now we have with the world heavyweight title. Damian Priest, the champion, versus Drew McIntyre with the Judgment Day banned from ringside. How do you think this one's going to go?
Oh, God. Leading up to it, we're kind of thinking that, well, I believe we kind of mentioned it before that we saw maybe Drew coming in and costing Drew the championship. But now, lately, in the last few weeks, the way that they've kind of ran the show, I don't know. I think Drew's going to win now. I think Drew's going to win. Yeah. I think we still might see like something from Punk. Maybe it'll be afterwards or during. But I don't know. I think Drew's going to win this time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, would Punk want to cost Drew the title because he knows there's a future match between him and Drew?
Right.
So why would he cost him the title? Because that would essentially cost him the title match against Drew down the line.
Yes. Right. I mean, I know he wants to screw him over for what he did to him, you know, and you know, injure him and whatnot. But yeah, I guess it could go either way. And that's the thing, like with the booking with this and where it's going to lead to with Money in the Bank and SummerSlam and these guys. I don't know. It's interesting to see. I'm can't wait to see how it plays out, you know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna stick with our guns on this one and say that the Judgment Day is banned from ringside, but CM Punk is not banned from ringside. So Punk's gonna come out and cost Drew McIntyre the title, which would be like a monster heel move in Scotland. And
I'm here for it. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, but yeah.
I mean, you got to look at it this way, too. Is Carlito an official member of the Judgment Day, too? They said Judgment Day is banned from ringside, but I don't know if Carlito's an official member, you know?
Yeah, what about Liv?
Jesus Christ, dude. Don't fucking get her.
I'm going to bring up Liv every chance I get.
I am so pumped for this fucking event Saturday because fucking Liv Morgan's not on the event.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I just realized that. Why is she not defending the title? She should have like a championship celebration moment or something for her revenge tour, like an encore. It's like,
no encore.
Yeah, no, we need a celebration. We need a Liv Morgan celebration at Clash of the Castle.
No curtain call. No,
we need something with Dom. We need something. She better be there. She better fucking be there.
Oh, fucking God, dude. I hope not, man. I really hope not.
And if she's not there, she's definitely in the hotel.
She's in the she's not gonna be at the arena. She's waiting in the hotel.
She's in the hotel.
Okay, there we go. Make the shirt. I don't, for sake of trying to stay positive. Like I didn't really say nothing. She fucking sucks.
Oh, come on.
We're gonna do this every week. We're gonna do this every fucking week, man.
Come on.
Every fucking week, bro.
Come on.
Every fucking week. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's terrible. She's fucking terrible. Like we didn't even bring up when she fucking landed on Dom outside the ring. And
such a hater.
Fucking weird.
Such a hater. Jeez, let's go.
It's weird, bro.
Revenge tour. Let's go.
Let's ho.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's ho.
Let's ho. I'm fucking over it, bro. I'm fucking over it. So I'm gonna say Damian Priest retains the title.
Okay.
And does a fuckery from CM Punk, and that sets up Drew CM Punk moving forward. And
I hope Punk's
finally,
there.
we have,
Yeah.
which I think is probably going to be the main event, an I Quit match. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the champion, takes on AJ Styles.
Oh.
I think that AJ Styles is going to say what he should have said a couple weeks ago, and that's I quit. Cody Rhodes retains the title.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Cody's definitely winning. Is AJ gonna say? Well, what he should have said, or what he did say, was "I retire." Was the 2 words technically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he says "I retire." But so Cody Rhodes doesn't normally use like submission moves, right? He doesn't necessarily have like a finisher, a submission finisher, right? So what's he gonna use? He gonna use AJ Styles, the what's it, the calf crusher? Calf crusher on him?
Yeah, and also like it doesn't have to be a submission move because, like you said, with Mick Foley and The Rock back in the day, he just beat him up until he put the microphone up and he said, "I quit, I quit."
Yeah.
There's been I quit matches where like someone goes to like obviously it wouldn't work in this scenario, but someone goes to hurt like a member of the person's family, and oh no, don't do that. I quit. Just don't hurt them. That was with Edge, I believe. Like went to give a concerto to Beth Phoenix or some shit like
and
that.
And didn't Uso have it with Roman Reigns too? In the Hell in the Cell or something?
I don't think it was an I quit match though, was it?
Maybe not, but he threw in the towel for him in some way or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, he's like, wow. Yeah. Put it in the comments. Yeah,
put in the comments what other I quit matches.
Maybe he'll give him.
What were your?
So maybe he'll give him like 10 crossroads, and then he'll just say, "Okay, I quit." Or like, is Gallows Anderson gonna throw in the towel for him? Maybe
we just hit a crossroads.
Yeah,
crossroads in my life.
Yeah, I can't take 4 crossroads. Be interesting.
There you have it. That's Clash at the Castle. Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to review it. If you're still here with us, we're going to be doing an episode with Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast early next week. It should be out early next week. I believe we might be reviewing Clash at the Castle. We'll see what comes up with that, but stay tuned with that and go over and give them a subscribe. And
yeah, that's going to be real cool.
Yeah,
can't wait. Check it out. Stay tuned.
Yeah, man, it's kind of cool, the opportunities that are being presented to us, and it's only because people like you are listening and watching. So
yeah,
continue to keep riding along with us.
Yeah, big shout out. So we look forward to watching this weekend, Clash at the Castle. Big things. You've been listening to the RRW Weekly Review for WWE Club Fed. And that's Pretty Deadly Jesse. And I'm Andrew Combat Jones. You've been listening to the Ringside Renaissance Wrestling Podcast. Peace.